Hello everyone, Rayman here with a war recap of our 53rd war. Wasn't a close one. The score actually makes it look closer than it ever was going to be. This marks our 18th win in our win streak. Uh, we, we got matched up with another pretty rushed clan. The top two Town Hall 10s were more legit Town Hall 10s than we normally see with these rushed clans, but there were a few scattered in here that were basically Town Hall 9s with some extra buildings. No infernos, and just generally lower level defenses. We got all the Town Hall 8s and left some of the Town Hall 9s in this rush Town Hall 10, plus the Town Hall 10s at the top. But for the most part, we cleaned up pretty good. It came down to 3 stars again, 36 to 4. We keep coming up against these clans that are 2-star specialists. This one didn't really have the troops to 3-star hardly any of our bases. So we're going to go ahead and get into some attacks. Start off with Papi Chulo. Hit number 8 with a Shattered Goho. Most of the bases I've picked out are some of their better base designs. They had a lot of internet bases, but most of the ones that we could tell were custom or suspected were custom bases were particularly bad. More just straight grid layouts, holes in the bases where they put their traps, that sort of thing. Anyway, so he gets the lure with some giants, trips a giant bomb at the bottom, brings up to the top, witches, wizards. You know the drill. This clan had a lot of loons in their CC, even at Town Hall 8. Normally Town Hall 8 gets hit with Drag Loon. It can hurt a Hog Raid if they don't manage to lure it out. So not a bad idea against us, but just in general not what you want to put. Send some golems in on the right side and a jump to get his troops in there. He doesn't have his Barb King, so he wants that extra golem to tank long enough to get his queen in there to take out the enemy queen. But he doesn't wait for her to get taken out. He knows that she's engaged on the golem, so he can go and send his hogs in and get the full effect of his golem tanking for him. Still has almost all of his hogs up. Has another heal. One last cluster defenses. Right after this wizard tower. There he goes. Drops this last heal. Maybe could have had it up a little bit further, but it didn't really matter. Mortar's not going to do anything. It's not even targeting these hogs. And that cannon is not even going to get one of them. Now it's just down to cleanup. So guys, even if you don't have your hero or one of your heroes, you can still hit some decent bases. Although we would recommend hitting something that's a little easier, like with a exposed hero or something. But he compensates for it by bringing an extra golem. Good job, Papi Chulo. Next deck after guys is Cha hitting number 13 with a cold-blooded hogs. Goes in and drops a giant down south. Trips a giant bomb, drops another one. He wants to make sure he gets his CC empty. One probably would have done it, but if they had a lot more archers in there, the second one would have done the trick. Brings him a little bit further south. He had them all bunched up, but he wants to do the CC kill way out of the way. This wizard's about to go down. He brings a golem and some wall breakers. Drops the golem and some wizards to get the funnel created. These wall breakers kind of went different directions on them, but these low level walls, it didn't matter. Funnel's created, he drops his king, some more wall breakers, let him get further into the base so he can tank some more. Queen is dead. Raises up the king. Probably could have raised him up a little early, got more use out of the king's ability. Maybe would have dropped the heel a little bit further in. Just overall not impressed with our opponent. We're hoping for another good war like the last war we had, so that we don't get rusty on all these rush clans. But you know, we won't really get to pick our matchups. So I was talking about rush town hall 10s. One thing to note when you're hogging a town hall 10 that doesn't have infernos, just because they don't have infernos doesn't mean they built their extra giant bombs. I hit one in this war, one of those really bad grid layouts, and they had that extra giant bomb. Didn't end up mattering. I had an extra heal after all the defenses were down, so I healed some hogs while they were taking some time on some buildings. But overall, not a very exciting war. It started a bit late, so most of us that live in the U.S. woke up and they had about double the stars we had, but we hadn't used very many attacks. We very quickly took the lead away and never looked back. All right, Love Sit here attacking number 27 with hogs. Drops a few hogs in there, get the CC pulled. Archer for an anchor. Another loon and a town 08 CC. Just still not sure what they're thinking. If they're going to try to prevent hogs from succeeding, like by putting a loon in there, I don't know, maybe they're get hit by giant healer, who knows? But you think they'd have better layouts that allow for hog defense instead of all these buildings clumped up and no positions for two giant bombs stacked together. Kill squad takes out the enemy CC, no problem. And then she sends in her hogs from the side of the kill squad, trying to keep them alive. I really liked how she dropped the CC into the CC kill on the side of the king. He didn't quite stick with the trying to take out the enemy CC and all those skeletons and runs back in. It was a good try. Eventually he's going to kill the hog he's after and then run back home. Dropping heals around the place, keeping hogs alive. So many left over at the end. No question this wasn't going to be a 3-star. King battle. Alright, next attack after you guys is Rooksby. Attacking number 31, also with hogs. Most of our attacks in this war were hogs. We had a few Dragloon and a few Laloon, but mostly hogs. Drop some hogs in a giant, gets the CC lower. Pulls them up top, starts to bunch them up a little bit. When the lure is a little messier, sometimes not worth the trouble of getting them bunched up. But if it's easy to bunch up the CC, it's worth the few extra seconds it takes to do it because of how quickly they go down. If they're all standing on top of each other, one wizard's going to take out all the archers and wizards. But it didn't quite have enough troops to get it bunched up with how spread out they were when he was pulling them. Two-finger drop, gets all his hogs in, and is real patient with the heals. There's not a lot up top that can hurt him past the first couple defenses he takes out. So he's able to hold on to them to get him heals nice and deep in the base where the giant bomb positions are. Doesn't see one pop because there's a Tesla there and he's holding on. Never mind, for some reason I thought he had an extra heal. Then he did. I believe there's a giant bomb in this spot right here. Yes, there is. Last defense, Most of his hogs were on very low health. He has 2 survive. King goes in, takes out enemy king, and he brings a ton of wizards to go around the base. There's not really compartments in this base. There's a few here, but they're easy to get to from wizards. Otherwise, your troops can just walk around. This is a older internet base that we used to see. I haven't seen it in a little while, but I believe it was featured multiple times in this clan. Something to really take advantage of is when you see internet bases. You recognize it and you can find it. Makes it real easy to go look it up and see where the traps probably are. There's nothing stopping someone from taking an internet base and changing it up, but usually they don't. Especially these Korean clans. I've noticed when you get one that's not particularly good at war, they're probably just going to copy it one for one. Anyway, so Jared here attacking number 37 with a Dragloon, 2 rage, 1 heal. Starts this funnel out on this builder hut. Love seeing that. So we don't have to deal with it later. Gets this funnel created, gets the rest of his drags dropped right in the middle, and he pull the CC, engage it. Right here he's about to drop a rage. Getting his dragons and CC in the core quickly when they're starting to get targeted by the ADs. Has a heal waiting for his loons in the core. They're not really taking hits from anything yet. Just that trap. Loon split up. He does get the last AD with him. And it's just a matter of dragons going around taking out the rest of the base. There's 4 more point defense that can hurt his dragons. But particularly the Teslas aren't very high level. I guess the Archer Towers might be ton of weight max. But he drops his Bard King on the backside, maybe a little early to tank. Some of you want to see towards right around the time the dragons, right before they get into range. You can get the Bard King in range. He can distract the anti-air point defenses at the end. It's a great idea, just a little early on it. But as you can see, it didn't matter for this raid. Something I hate seeing is splash troops chasing on a Bard King. It just takes them so long to catch it because every time he moves, they're not doing any damage to him, then they gotta adjust, and there's just a huge time waster. And then nothing you can do about that on a Dragloon. Archer Tower's just wailing away, but once the storage goes down, the dragon's gonna go up there and take it out. Archer Towers can be particularly dangerous, but yeah, see it just barely took it out at the same time the other one went down. Now it's just this dragon making the trek up. And it's game over. Alright, good job everyone. Once again, hoping for a good war. Go ahead and show what they did to our bases. That's interesting, he didn't even get attacked. Once again, we're hoping for a good war. Search is still going on. Searching for a 40 versus 40 for the last war before we go back to resisting time. Oh, we have a matchup. Night Skulls, level 5 clan. Based in Mexico. Let's take a look at some of the bases. Ooh, 4 Tunnel 10s again. Tunnel 9s go down the same spot we do. This should be interesting. Let's go look at the bottom and top Tunnel 9s and see what we got. This looks like either a brand new Tunnel 9 or a Tunnel 8.5. Pretty upgraded as far as Tunnel 9s go, except for, well, Tunnel 8s rather, except for the wall breakers being low level. So look at the top one. We'll look at the Tunnel 10s and see. what we've gotten ourselves into. This looks like it might be closer to a even matchup, except for the Town Hall 10s. That's totally not fair. Level 30 Archer Queen. That's interesting. Level 11 King. Bet we see a Shattered Lawland if he's any good. Wow. All right. Let's look at these Town Hall 10s. See what we have. Level 1 Inferno is on their bottom one. Single target and a multi. Don't you hate saying that? Look at his troop levels too. Right, not quite as far along as their top Town Hall 9. As far as troop levels go for the most part. Marlama would max wizards before they max a lot of these other troops. Max wizards aren't a huge increase at all. Level 2 golems. I didn't look at their Inferno Tower strength. Let's go. Level 3. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. Level 3 and level 3. We're going to have more closer to max out bases at the top here. Gold walls, though, you can cut through those like butter. Maybe a Goji Wee from this side. Maybe. This is a popular layout with Town Hall 10s right now. Sort of the box in a box with some segments out here for some trash buildings. Definitely been seeing that a lot. Level 3, level 3. Alright guys, well we've been asking for a close war. Hope we can keep it together, pull out some awesome 3-stars, and keep ahead of this one. Alright, I'm out.